ETF fans. Mike here with another video insight. Today I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to do a category spotlight video insight, and I'm going to focus in on the municipal bond space. Specifically, I'm going to focus in on single stock municipal bond ETFs. So for all you folks out there looking to avoid taxes, this video insight is for you. Going to take, like I said, going to go about this a little bit differently. Instead of writing about it, we're going to do a video insight. So to get started, just going to hop into the member access side of the platform. And first thing I want to do is I'm going to navigate to our Navigator tool, pun intended, I guess, under the databases. And what I want to do is I want to set up a dashboard specifically for evaluating municipal bond single state ETFs. So to do that, you come over here to the right side of the data table and you click on the filters section, and we'll open up the classification tab, and we will apply first to fixed income. The next thing we'll do is we'll look at the municipal composite. And then finally, under category, we'll remove all of the categories except for fixed income, municipal, single state. All right, so you can see it's a pretty small category. There's only 20 ETFs in there. To be able to evaluate this area of the market, first thing I want to change my groupings. So I want to get rid of asset class, I want to get rid of composite. So I just have fixed income, municipal, single state. Note that if I wanted to do some in-depth research on this, I could just click that grouping and it would send me directly into the database. But what I actually want to do is I want to add a new grouping, and I want to pull down the country grouping. So for those of you that are unaware, for ETFs that focus on a specific state, we will override country with that state. So by pulling down that country, now when I open up this table, we're going to see that there are 4 states that have municipal bonds dedicated to their state. Of course, the benefit of that is then you not only get the exempt taxes from not just the federal, but also from that specific sales state and income taxes. So, kind of a double tax avoidance, if you will, to access the municipal bond market. So as I'm looking at this, you can see there's this 20 ETFs, 9.4 billion in AUM. We'll skip this return section, but go over here. What we can see is a lot of this AU money has come in over the last year, right? So we've got $2.5 billion have come into these ETFs. So any of those issuers out there watching this, a little hint to maybe look out for product development. If you were to go into the mutual fund database, you'd find that there's over 30 states that have single state muni products. So I would expect product development in this area for ETFs to continue to grow quickly and see a lot more states out there. But obviously, just looking at what is currently live, we see that we have California, almost, I guess over 90% of the assets there in California, 1.2 billion in New York, and then a much smaller 28 million in Minnesota with 1 ETF and 14 million in Massachusetts. Can open this up and we can see, maybe see who are the issuers that are offering this stuff. So I'll pull down another grouping and I'll pull down brand. And we'll be able to see that, we've got iShares, Vanguard, Invesco, AB funds. So, dozen or so issuers here that are offering single state municipal products. I'm going to remove that brand now. What I want to do also is kind of visualize the growth of this area of the market. So I'm going to hit apply to my charts tool and open up and click on country so we can get kind of a visualization of this. And there we see that California, 86% of the AUM, New York with 13.5%, and then just fractions in Massachusetts and Minnesota. This is probably more worth highlighting. Obviously a very nice growth rate, right? First ETF launched back in 2015, October of 2015. And since then we've seen, 20 ETFs in this category and 9.4 billion. So pretty nice growth rate over the last 10 years. And one that's definitely starting to pick up in terms of seeing flows. And we go down and scroll down to our flows section, we can see that, right? You know, over $100 million plus coming into these categories month over month for at least the last year, but mostly over the last 3 years. Put that 5 years, and we can see that growth breaking out, and accelerating over the last year, year and a half into these products. Last thing I would want to point out is I'm going to get rid of my country button here, and I do want to show you, if you're looking to do research on these strategies, you can click that hyperlink. It will load all of the filters necessary to just dial in on these strategies. And at this point, you could then go in and say, okay, I want to look and say at my fixed income characteristics. And let's find out, from a duration perspective, it's all over the map, right? You're seeing the Invesco New York AMT free municipal bond ETF with 10 plus years effective duration. And it goes all the way down to the iShares short-term California Muni Active ETF with just over a year of effective duration. So pretty big deal there. Of course, similarly, you see that difference in the yield to maturity, yield to worst. Most of these products are investment grade, so they should have pretty low option adjusted spreads, looking like it's ranging from, just over 1 with the Rockefeller New York Municipal Bond ETF, taking on a little more credit risk, all the way down to 0.1 for the Dimensional California Municipal Bond ETF. So quite a bit of variety out there in terms of, looking under the hood of these products. But that's the key element I wanted to show, really wanted to illustrate and continue to illustrate how you can use the Navigator tool to build a dashboard set up for that category or set up for whatever area of the market you're looking to evaluate. Really assists in visualizing what's going on. Then, of course, you can dive in and do all the good research into the database. I hope today's video insight was beneficial. If you have any questions, as always, reach out to Team at ETF Action. Would be happy to get you set up with a demo, or give it a shot yourself and take a look at maybe reducing that tax bill. Thanks for watching and have a great day.